Kugel. I'm a spellbinder, and I have an Anansi story for you. Now, Anansi stories are very, very old. They come from Africa, and they came across the Atlantic Ocean in the slave ships, and they came to our country. Now, there aren't any more slave ships, thank goodness, but there are still Anansi stories. And I want you to try to think about how Africa was a place where people lived in villages, and they did not have tall buildings at the time when these stories came. So it's a little bit more about the actual jungle. So with that, I will start my story about Anansi. So this story is from Africa. It's an Anansi story. Sometimes Anansi is an old man, and sometimes Anansi is a spider. But one thing we know about Anansi is he's always greedy, and he doesn't like to work, and he likes to play tricks, and sometimes the tricks get him into big trouble. So in this story, Anansi is an old man. Anansi is ready to go and ask the sky god for some stories, because there are no stories on earth. And the sky god has all the stories, and he keeps them in a big golden box right beside his throne. So Anansi goes up on a web, up to the sky god's palace. He walks into the throne room and he bows and he says, "Oh, Nayami, sky god, I have come to ask to buy your stories." The sky god says, "Tweet. You want to buy my stories? Well, you will have to pay 3 things." "Well, I will try." The 3 things are Osibo, the leopard with the terrible teeth, and the hornets that sting like fire, named Mboro, and the fairy that no man sees, and her name is Mimosha. "Well, I can try." Sweet, you are so old and so small. How can you do it?" "I will try." So Anansi left the throne room. He went back down to the village, and he went along the path where the tall grass was, yada, till he came to Osibo, the leopard with the terrible teeth. And Osibo said, "Anansi, you are just in time for lunch. You can be lunch, rawr." And Anansi said, "Well, that may be, but first, I know you love games. Let's play a game." "Rawr, what game is that?" "Oh, it's called the binding game. You see, I take the vines and I tie you foot. Then I untie you and you can tie me up." And the leopard said, "And then you'll be time for lunch and you'll be the lunch, yes." So Anansi said, "I have the vine." And he tied the leopard by his foot. Now he was all tied up with vines. And Anansi said, "Well, I think, Osibo, you are ready to see the sky god." And he took him over to a big tree and hung him up in the tree. So that's 1. 2 more to go. Then Anansi, well, he had to go find the hornets. But before he found the hornets, he got a big hollow gourd called a calabash. And the calabash has a stopper to keep things in it. And he put water inside, and then he got a big banana leaf. And he took those things to the nest where Mboro was outside. And then he took the water and he sort of spilled it around, splashed it, and said, "Ah, my banana leaf umbrella. Moro, you will get wet. It is raining, raining, raining. Don't you want to come into my calabash so your wings won't get wet? Oh, thank you. Zzz, and zip, 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 zip. They all went into the calabash. And Anansi took the stopper and closed it up. And they were stuck inside. They could fly around, but they couldn't get out and sting Anansi. So Anansi took that calabash over to the tree where the leopard was and put the calabash in the tree too. They were going to meet Nyami, the sky god, too. Now, that's two. The last thing, the third thing, Anansi needed something to help him. So he took a piece of wood and he carved a little doll. And then he carved a little bowl for the doll. And he took the doll and put sticky, gummy stuff from a tree all over the doll. It's very, very sticky. And into the bowl, he put some mashed yams or sweet potatoes, because he knew fairies, especially Momosha, loved to eat mashed yams. Now he took that doll with the sticky stuff and that bowl, and he put it under the flamboyant tree where the fairies like to come to dance. And he tied a vine around the neck of the doll so that if he pulled on that vine, the doll's head would go. And he put the mashed jam bowl right in front of the doll, and then he crept over behind a bush to watch and wait. Well, after a while, along came that little fairy. Well, she was very, very happy to dance this day because it was a lovely day. And she just danced, and she wiggled, and she danced. She had a wonderful time. And then, she stopped. She was very hungry because she had been dancing and dancing. And she saw the doll and the bowl of yams. Excuse me, Gum Baby, but I'm very hungry. Could I taste your yams? And Anansi, hiding in the bush, held on to that vine and yanked it so that it would move the doll's head. Well, I do thank you. I think I will try just a little bit of it. She took the bowl. Delicious. I think I'll have a little bit more. And she ended up finishing all the yams in that bowl. In fact, she licked the bowl out. And then she said, well, that was delicious, and I do thank you, Gum Baby. I thank you very much. And the doll said nothing. Well, I did thank you, and you did not answer me. Now, you better answer me. It's only manners. And the doll said nothing. Gum Baby, I don't think you have any manners. If you don't answer me, I'm just going to take my hand and hit you in your crying place. And the doll said nothing. So that fairy wound up her little hand and she, pow, smacked the doll. And her hand stuck. Oh, let go. Oh, if you don't let go of my hand, I'm going to hit you again in your crying place. Pow! Now both hands were stuck to the doll's face. And she said, if you don't let go of my hands, I'm going to kick you with my feet. And she did. And now her feet were stuck. Her hands were stuck. Anansi came out of his hiding place. Well, Momosha, you are ready to go and meet the sky god. He took Momosha and the leopard and the hornets, put them in a big web and carried them up to the palace of the sky god. And when he got there, he bowed and said, "Naomi, I have brought you the price for your stories." "Tweet, tweet, tweet, how did you do that?" "I have found the way to trick them, and now I am bringing you your price." "Well, you may have the stories. Take these stories in my golden box. They are now yours. Everyone listen. These are spider stories now from now on. And I want you to cheer for little Anansi." And how they cheer is they say, "Ee!" So you can help me cheer, all right? "Ee! Ee! Ee!" Anansi took that golden box full of stories back down, down, down to the village. All the children came out to see what was in that golden box. And when they opened it up, the stories came floating out. They floated around the village. They floated around Africa. They floated across the Atlantic Ocean to the United States. And they floated right to this place. Now, you can take this story, and it will be yours, and you can tell it to someone else. And that's how the world got stories.